Welcome, world's shortest podcast viewers. You are now privy to the world's most medium-length podcast, otherwise known as the ConboCast, where I talk into a microphone about nothing for about an hour or two, and just basically shoot the shit with myself, because I'm alone in the daytime, because everyone works then, and I work graveyard shifts at a fucking grocery store. So, I was thinking about shit, like, watching the Joe Rogan podcast recently with Bob Lazar, that Area 51 guy, and he was talking about, like, anomalous materials, spaceships and stuff, and I got to thinking, why the fuck would aliens even go to Earth, right? Think about this. Here's some fucking alien on a spaceship zooming through the stars, like, went like fucking 35 miles an hour, how fast, spaceships go. I'm pretty sure they go about 30 miles an hour. And, you make it to this planet filled with intelligent monkeys who figured out how to drive cars and make planes and go to space. But the thing is, we can't do that like they can. So, who are we to say that we're so interesting that aliens would even bother to look at us? I mean, I've been thinking about that because, like, maybe from where the aliens are from, there's like 1,000 planets next to each other, like some Star Wars shit, and there would be like infinitely more interesting people than us, Hair on my tongue. It all goes back to that Bo Burnham bit. God is art is dead. No, it wasn't art is dead. It was something about God or something where God, from God's perspective, that's what it was. And he said there's 100 million aliens cooler than you, and I wholeheartedly believe that because, I mean, if you have the capability to fly in some like fucking future machine in the stars, like, you would give up on that shit right now. Like, if someone came up to you and was like, yo, you can fuck any woman on the planet, or get a spaceship, I'd go with spaceship. I'm just gonna say, like fucking Kylie Jenner is definitely not, like, that does not outweigh having a spaceship, because I could be laying mad pipe on some alien broads on, like, fucking Alpha Centauri 5. Like, shit, Earth puss don't even hold no candle to alien puss, I would assume. I mean, I don't really know, since I've never really been in space, because space is very, very far away, but really not when you also think about that. But in terms of human perspective, space is pretty far away. Like, you could just go up and up and up and up, and then it'd take you like an hour and a half to get to space. And even then, space is so fucking big, it takes you like a year to get to the moon or something. What is it? How long does it take? Fucking 13 hours? Something like that? 13 hours? I don't know. But it takes like a fucking year to get to like Jupiter or something, so I can't, like, we're never gonna come up faster than light travel. We're gonna, like, blow each other up before that ever happens. I mean, in a world where an orange man is our president, orange man bad, in a world where one of the presidential candidates, his mind is literally melting, and that's their choice. That's the choice. You get creepy rape Cheeto, or you get, melt brain rape man. Those are your two options. Like, I was a Yang Gang man all the fucking way, and then he kind of just dropped out. So I was just sitting there with my dick in my hand and a ballot in the other, going, well, shit, who do I vote for now? I wasn't going to vote for Bernie because socialism kind of scares me a little bit, I don't know if that's just American bullshit that they were feeding down our throats ever since we were kids, but I'm pretty sure it's not, because my family left fucking Ukraine to come to America because, one, the Nazis were coming and they were Jewish, so that wasn't really a good thing. My great-granddad hit on a tuna boat. He made it over here and, founded Payless, or the company that became Payless, believe it or not. I mean, you can call bullshit on that all you want. I don't even know if it's true. But, fuck, welcome to the ConboCast. I was kind of just talking into the microphone about nothing, which is honestly what I promised the podcast would be. This is the ConboCast with your host, Colby, otherwise known as Conbo. I am a 18-year-old fuckface who's recording this shit in a corner of his room with a microphone on his desk that picks up literally everything, and it makes me super anxious anytime I record on Audacity. And then I play it through Audacity and it sounds fine. So probably not a fucking issue at all. But I don't know what I'm doing. I'm kind of faking it as I go along here. I feel like that's what most people did. Maybe I could have got a Skillshare prescription, like a Skillshare subscription, and maybe they could have taught me podcasting. But I don't know. Honestly, never been on the Skillshare website. I barely know what they do. I barely know what they do, and it's what do they do? They share skills like cooking and desk making, I think. I'm sure they have that. Woodworking or something. I honestly don't know. Every other goddamn YouTube channel was like, yo, you should get Skillshare because they're sponsoring this fucking video right here. And I was like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. Skillshare sounds alright. And then some people do Curiosity Stream, where Curiosity Stream is literally just school on the internet. It's got all kinds of shit on it. It's done by the dude who did National Geographic or something, the Discovery Channel. I don't know. I honestly don't know what I'm doing at all. I'm literally just going along with things as they come and talking into a microphone and hoping you people will fucking listen to it. But shit, I've been jobless for a month at this point, and it was I'm not gonna bullshit. It was basically just through lack of trying. And I was at a certain point I was like, you know what, this shit sucks. And I got a job in an hour, so I'll be working graveyard shifts. I'll be going into work at midnight and coming home at 8 in the morning. So these podcasts will probably be recorded sometime in the afternoon, so you could probably expect them around 5 o'clock or later. The Auditory Fever Dream show is probably going to be a little more sporadic just because I have to get everyone together to record an episode. And by everyone, I just mean me and my roommate Pedro or Noah. But no one really... I'm just so bored today. I was like, you know what? Gotta record an episode. Gotta give the people what they want. Because I released a teaser on my Instagram a week ago. Not a week ago, a few days ago. I have a really shitty perception of time. And it got a good response. So I just want people to know that they can listen to the show now. It's on the internet, and my wisdom can drip through your ears like a goblin pouring syrup down a sink. That was barely an analogy. That didn't even make sense, which is great. So if you want to watch the show, it's going to be all that. It's just going to be analogies like goblins pouring syrup down fucking storm drains and sinks and shit. That's a really fucking weird image. A goblin pouring syrup down a storm drain. I'd like to think that if a goblin did that, if a goblin hobbled down to a fucking storm drain, that's the sound goblins make when they walk, I assume. I've never seen one. And he just sits there and he starts pouring syrup down there. I'd like to imagine Pennywise the Clown, who lives in sewers, storm drains. I'd like to imagine that he opens his mouth and accepts the syrup into his throat. That was really gross. That was really fucking gross. I don't know why I said that. I hope the audio quality won't be too bad when this thing is released. My pop filter isn't the best. It's kind of falling off, but at least it prevents, piss and balls. You didn't hear popping right there, I assume. So, I don't have a point to this show. It's a pointless show. The only reason I could see people watching or listening to this show is literally just to hear me talk about nothing. Is literally just to hear my voice. Only reason I can ever think of that people will listen to this show. And pretty sure people will listen to it. Someone will. There's someone for everyone, right? Someone listening to any form of content. I'm mainly just recording these for practice at this point because I don't, like I said before, don't know what I'm doing at all. I'm just talking to a microphone like it's a person, like it's a person just staring me in the eyes, judging me, judging us all, like God. God is one judgmental motherfucker. You know when people say only God can judge me? I say not even God can judge me. Not even God can judge me. Because, like, when was the last time that loser got me pussy, right? Fuck, dude, he didn't even fuck a virgin. He just put a baby in her, like that. I would try to make a pop noise, and my face wouldn't allow it. You know what I mean? But yeah. God is totally laughing at us at this point. Like, just look at the year 2020. Like, World War III almost started. There's a fucking world-ending virus. I wouldn't call it world-ending. It seems every white woman is a Karen. Police are just beating up every person they see. Mostly black people. I mean, no, they're mostly killing the black people. And they're beating up everyone else. And shit is fucked right now. I'm just waiting to see what curveball August throws at us. To see what fastball that God launches at our fucking collective nutsacks. You know what I mean? If you're still listening to this show at this point, you're such a fucking trooper, and I appreciate you so much. But if you're not, I don't blame you. I'm gonna listen to this back when I'm done recording it, and I'm gonna be like, oh my God, why did I even record this? No, I would say it's nervousness, but I've been talking to myself for a long time because I'm a little bit of a loser. I'm a little bit of a fucking dweeb, if you will. Not quite band kid level of dweeb, but fucking just an asshole, like a fucking dweeb, fucking dumbass, and band kid POVs are basically the only thing that keeps me living at this point. Because they're fucking funny. Like, if you spent any time in a band room during your high school or middle school career, because apparently my brother says it's the same shit there, it is just filled with fucking Redditors, which, is already the scum of the earth, is Reddit. I hate Reddit. I use Reddit for two things. And one of those things is porn, most definitely. It's what I use Reddit for. It's what most people use Reddit for. And even then, I barely use Reddit for that because, the internet is so goddamn vast, you can go anywhere you want at any time. And Reddit just doesn't have that ability, And the only other reason I go onto Reddit is to laugh at people who use Reddit. Because fuck Reddit, man. Reddit is filled with, like, the least funny people. Like, goddamn fucking comedic scum is what I would call it. Comedic scum. Not that I'm much better. The difference between me and Redditors is I know I'm not funny. God, I hate Reddit. 4chan is a close third for website I hate, for people I hate on there the most. Because Reddit is just filled with soy boy cucks and who pretend like they're fucking ultra intelligent, like fucking 10 intelligence motherfuckers who just think they're like big brain, galaxy brain mentality, thinking about shit like they could lift their fucking car with just their brain waves. But 4chan is filled with soy boy cucks who don't think that they're soy boy cucks. And if 4chan tries to fuck with me for this, which they won't, probably, because I don't imagine anyone will listen to this, I don't care. I don't care. The show is basically just boiled down to me laughing at my own jokes, nervously, And I honestly wouldn't have it any other way. Wouldn't have it any other way. We're crossing the 15-minute mark here. It feels like I've been recording for an hour and a half. Just goes to show you how slowly time really flies in the end. You know what I mean? But in the end, the only reason I do this is for fun, is because I am a little bit of a narcissist and I like the sound of my own voice. But at the same time, I don't. I like the sound of my own voice, but I don't. I'm not that funny, you know? I'm not a very funny guy. I think about things. Like, you know, why am I doing this? Or, where are we? Why are we? That was a philosophical question for you. Didn't know. If you guys didn't know, you were stepping into. If you guys didn't know, you're getting some fucking philosophy. It's like a college course here. It's like a goddamn college course. And it's insane. It's absolutely insane. It's a goddamn college course. You know, I'm not really sure how long these ConboCasts are going to be. They're probably going to be pretty short, you know, about, 20, anywhere from, 20 minutes to an hour or two, depending on how much I have to talk about. Like I said, this is mostly just a test episode to make sure my computer doesn't explode into flames while I record. And mainly just to make sure that you guys want to watch this and that there's an audience for it. Which, there's an audience for everything. I mean, people still watch Finger Family songs. I mean, children still watch Finger Family songs. How do kids watch that? Like, I grew up on Newgrounds and early YouTube, and I turned out okay. Fucking watched Oni and G, Psychic Pebbles and shit, and I turned out completely fine. I'm alright. I'm okay. Mostly okay. I kind of bounced around with names that I wanted for this podcast, and I decided the ConboCast is probably the best name for it because it's just me. And it's literally just me being casted into your ears through your cellular devices, most likely, or your computer. Listen to this on the way to work. Listen to this at work. Listen to this at home to make you think you have friends. I'm your friend. I'll always be your friend. It's not true. I might not even know you, but if you listen to this, I'm grateful. But if you are listening to this, can I ask why? Like, please post in the comments why you would listen to this, because I feel like this is like a fucking slow train wreck, like a 30-minute train wreck. I'm gonna try to push this episode to 30 minutes because why not? I have literally nothing better to do. Literally nothing better to do today, and I promised myself I'd get practice at this. Promised myself I'd start talking about stuff into a microphone and just rant. I love the Bill Burr Show. If any of you listen to the Bill Burr Show, except I'm not a famous comedian. I could barely be classified as a comedian. The show's probably way funnier with more people. I don't care. Honestly. Because this show right here is going to be my lifeblood right here. This show is going to be the only thing keeping me from jumping off a cliff, doing septuple backflips, into the ocean. That's a really baller way to go now that I think about it, but what's the most baller way to go, you think? For me, I would say do a septuple backflip off of a cliff into shark-infested waters, wearing an Evel Knievel jumpsuit with, 7 sticks of dynamite and 2 grenade bells strapped to you, and right before you hit the bottom, you explode. And hopefully there'll be some sharks below you, so you can blow up some sharks, or all your little body parts that were not completely eviscerated by explosives could be eaten by sharks. And, complete circle of life right there. Complete circle of life. Isn't it beautiful? The circle of life. Like the beginning song to what? The Lion King? Which Eric Andre's in The Lion King now, the live action one. Was that good? Like, please tell me in the comments, was the live action Lion King good? Like, I heard it wasn't, and I assumed it wasn't, because, you can't top the original. Jeremy Irons is a fucking beast. He played Scar. James Earl Jones played Mufasa. Can't remember who the fuck was Simba. I don't think I care, because Mufasa and Scar are cool. But wait, why did people cry when Mufasa died? Was I the only kid who didn't? Was I the only kid who did not give a shit when Mufasa died? Like, I was more sad. I was legit just more sad when, like, a dog dies that doesn't speak in a movie than when Mufasa, who was, like, a good dad to Simba, dies in The Lion King after being stampeded by wildebeests and betrayed by his brother. I didn't care. Not even as a 6-year-old watching The Lion King, I really didn't care that Mufasa died. Honestly. Like, I think I was a bit more distraught when I watched The Emperor's New Groove, and I thought that, like, I can't remember what scene it was, but I thought Kronk died somehow when I was a kid. And I watched it back recently, and there's no scene like that. I don't know if I had a fucking fever dream, and I dreamt a scene where Kronk, like, fell off a fucking cliff. I thought that Kronk fell off a cliff when I was a kid, and I actually cried. I don't know how or where or why this scene plays out so vividly in my head, but I watched The Emperor's New Groove, and it's not in there. It's just not in there. There's not a scene where Kronk falls off a cliff. It might be in Kronk's New Groove, but I've never seen Kronk's New Groove. What the fuck is Kronk's New Groove? It's, the sequel Disney movies have always been kind of shit. Like, I'm not even a fan of Disney. I think Disney's a fucking horrible company. Fuck Disney. But, they've never had good sequels. Never had good sequels. Because no money has ever been put into them, Like, it was just like, shit, pump out another fucking sequel to The Lion King, which they made, like, 4 Lion King movies, and everyone only knows, like, 1 or 2. I don't even know the names of the other 3. I just know The Lion King, and then, like, none of the others. And there's more. There's more. I know more about Kimba the fucking White Lion than I do about fucking The Lion King sequels. And for those of you who think Kimba the White Lion was ripped off by The Lion King, you're fucking retarded. Go watch the YMS video. That man literally became the #1 authority in the world about Kimba the White Lion out of spite. And I fucking respect that. Because people who just do things, like extraordinary things out of spite, to spite another person, it's like a gift that keeps on giving, It's the funniest shit to me. Like, I do things out of spite all the time. Like, when someone was like, "Oh, are you gonna clean the house?" and they were being an asshole about it. They were being an asshole about cleaning the house, and they're like, "No, I'll do it, because I know you won't do it." I was like, bet. So I cleaned the whole fucking house, top to bottom. That happened one time. Just did that out of spite, and I felt so goddamn proud of myself. And just to see the look on their face of, "Oh my god, you actually cleaned the whole fucking house." It's a beautiful thing, It's more beautiful than, like, the birth of a child, or an alien giving me a spaceship for free. Do you think aliens have, like, cars, or do you think they all have, like, spaceships? Do you think, like, the average alien consumer can go down to their local dealership and buy a spaceship? Because that's a world I want to live in. That is a fucking wonderful world. Sounds amazing to me. I would love to live on that planet. oh yes, just come down to the dealership and we'll give you a spaceship for only 150 splognak as a down payment. And I don't know how splognak would translate into the American currency. Probably wouldn't, honestly. What would splognak be? Like dried squid? I'd like to think it'd be like dried squid dipped in metal. Dipped in like gold. Like molten gold. That's what splognak is. 150 splognak is like 150 little squidlets that are just dipped in gold as currency. Shit, if that doesn't exist, I'm gonna fucking make it. I'm gonna make it. Because isn't that what entrepreneurship is really about? Isn't entrepreneurship just creating shit that doesn't exist? And if it does exist, just doing it better or cheaper? Squid dipped in melted gold. A rapper would buy that. Like if I got like a fucking colossal squid, fished it out of the ocean, that would be a huge waste of funds and resources because they're rare as hell. They're only ever seen like once every 40 fucking years. But if I grabbed one, like pulled it right out of the ocean, dipped it in some molten gold, the rapper would buy that. Like Chief Keef would buy that. He'd be like, hey, how much for that golden squid, bruh? I'm like, that'd be $150 million. And honestly, that would probably cost more than you'd be able to sell it for. Because what uses do you have for a squid dipped in molten gold other than I have a squid dipped in molten gold? Like, I'd like to imagine a really rich person would buy that and they would just probably hang it up in their mansion somewhere as a mantelpiece or a fancy chandelier. I want to get a blue whale and hollow it out, keep it from decaying somehow and turn it into a house. That'd be kind of hard considering that they're a protected species on account that they're endangered as shit. But I think it's a good idea, Hollow out the whale, get all the whale oil, sell it to the Japanese. Wait, is that what they... Because I know that's what they did back then, when Nantucket was still a thing. And people, like, hollowed out whales for the oil. Because that's how you saw back then, before light bulbs. Put the fucking whale oil in the lantern. It's dark. We literally fished this out of a giant fucking air-breathing fish. Keeps your house lit. Honestly, at this point, don't know what I'm talking about. The show would be a lot more interesting if I was not sober. But considering that I am, turned out a lot better than I thought it would. There was, shit, I don't know. If you made it to this point, you are, like, the best. If you made it to, like, minute 30, you are a literal god, and I love you. I love you more than I love my own family. Unless my family did make it to this part, which they probably did. So, thanks, guys. Thanks for listening this far. Like I said, this is a test episode to make sure there's an audience for this, that I can talk to myself competently for about 30 minutes or an hour, which is debatable at best. If I can do that, she'll get a lot more interesting with a few people, just to balance each other out. But until I get a longer mic cord, and until I have an actual space in which to record, or, people to record with, then, it's just gonna be me and you, having a one-sided conversation as I jump from topic to topic with reckless abandon. You know what I mean? But, this has been a fucking weird experience because I've never done this in such a long form before. I've always wanted to. Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to do a podcast. Now I have the opportunity to do it, but it's not really special. Cause, in the early 2000s, before podcasting, before everyone was like, let's make a podcast, or let's make a YouTube video, and so let's make a webcomic. And then that died out, and then YouTube became a thing. It was like, oh, let's make YouTube videos. And then people started making podcasts as an alternative to radio, because radio is a fucking dying out thing. Yeah, it's on its last legs. He's an old man. Radio's been around since the like late 1800s, I think, 1920s. I don't know technological history. Like, ask me any other history facts, I could probably answer you that, but I don't know when the fucking radio was invented. It was probably important in that year. Probably. Which actually was probably really important in that year. I think radio is one of the most important inventions of all time. Because that got us like TV. And then TV became streaming. And that's how we just absorb all of our content now. I think people are generally a lot more quick to quit things. Because they're not immediately good at them. Because we live in an era of complete instant gratification. Where, like, oh shit, I want to do this thing. And it's literally at your fingertips at any moment. Like, you have a supercomputer in your pocket. Like, the phone that you have right now, don't care who you are. I don't care if you have a fucking Nokia flip phone. It is, like, 10 times more powerful than the computer that got us to the moon. Isn't that insane to think about? Just think about what the aliens got. Just think about what the aliens got. They probably have computers implanted in their heads or something. Which is honestly where I see us going in the future. Implanting computers in our heads so you can never escape Twitter. Welcome to Twitter, where something you said in 2008 loses your job in 2020. But, you know, I'm kind of getting long-winded at this point. And I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. But I reached my 30-minute mark already, and I decided to go on for an extra 2 minutes because I had something to say. But if you listen to this far, thank you so much, and I genuinely appreciate it. I genuinely appreciate you listening this far. And if you didn't listen this far, then that's okay. That's alright. But you'd never hear this anyway because you didn't listen this far. So fuck you. So just kidding. But this has been the first kind of episode. Fuck it. This is the first episode of the ConboCast. Unedited, uncut, raw, right here on YouTube. Eventually, I hope to get a Spotify deal. Never gonna happen, probably, but, you know, might get there someday. But this has been Colby, or Conbo, bringing you the first episode of the Unhinged Show / the ConboCast. Thank you so much for watching, if indeed you did watch this far. And if you didn't, thanks for clicking on it anyway. Have an absolute fucking great day. Don't catch the corona, and don't let 2020 beat you down like a fucking bitch. Have a good one, guys.